You are listening to RetroLovers Radio, your go-to broadcast for positive nostalgia.
What a wonderful night. You are listening to Retro Lovers Radio, a space for 80s and 90s music, memories, and for positive nostalgia. Have you ever used a 90s song to create distance? Not to escape, but to recenter? Let's move deeper into the late 1990s. Life feels faster now. Phones are still wired, but pagers and early mobiles are appearing. You're starting to realize that not everything needs to be shared. Sometimes you just want space, not isolation, just distance. You put on music while walking alone. You sit by a window on a bus or train. You play a song not to escape but to breathe. And 90s music understood that need perfectly. So tonight we're talking about 90s songs people turned to when they needed emotional distance. Not to disconnect, but to recenter. Let's begin with Six Underground by Sneaker Pimps from 1996. This song feels cool, restrained, almost detached, and that's exactly why it works. One lyric quietly sets the tone. Take me down, Six Underground. It wasn't about hiding forever. It was about retreating temporarily. The song expressed a very 90s idea. You don't always need confrontation. Sometimes you need a space to regain balance. Now consider the song Teardrop by Massive Attack from 1998. By the end of the decade, trip hop became the sound of introspection. This song didn't tell a story, it created a mood. One line floats gently through the track. Love, love is a verb. It reframed emotion as something lived, not declared. In the 90s, this kind of quiet emotional intelligence felt modern. Love without drama, depth without noise. And we have this other example with Nothing Compares to You by Sinead O'Connor from 1990. This song was stripped down, almost uncomfortably honest. One lyric cut through everything. It's been 7 hours and 15 days. Very specific and human. It showed that solitude doesn't erase connection. It reveals how deeply something mattered. The 90s allowed this kind of vulnerability to exist without hiding behind irony. What these songs shared was restraint. They didn't feel silence, they respected it. They showed that stepping back doesn't mean you don't care. It means you are listening to yourself. And that's why these songs still feel relevant today. So if you enjoy this kind of deep listening and reflection, join us live every week with the 90s Lover Show on Fridays and with the 80s Lover Show on Saturdays, if you also love the 80s. Both are live at 7 p.m. Eastern on our YouTube and Kick channels. I first start the YouTube live stream for around 10 minutes, just to allow people some time to gather as a kind of waiting room. And then we continue the full show live stream on Kick, where we can play full music video clips with no restrictions. And I share the link to Kick for you all to move there. On Kick is where things really come alive with the 4 show segments, your song requests, live voting, your voice messages on air, and even phone calls to share memories, your stories, and reflections connected to the music. You can participate or simply listen. And if you like participating, you can do it on Kick's chat or by leaving comments on the main post of our public Facebook group, which allows more space to write. So make sure to join our public Facebook group by searching for RetroLovers Radio 80s and 90s Nostalgia. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube as well, turn on the notification bell, and keep an eye on all the other 6 extra monthly special shows besides the weekly shows. So tonight we explored distance, not as an avoidance, but as care. Songs that allowed space without coldness. Lyrics that didn't demand explanation. Music that respected silence and emotional boundaries. That's one of the quiet legacies of 90s music. It taught us that stepping back can be an act of self-respect. So now let me know, is there a 90s song you associate with needing space or quiet clarity? A track you played when you needed distance and not distraction? Share it in the comments on YouTube. Those moments matter. And so before we go, remember to take care of your loved ones and remember what is truly important in your life. All the rest is secondary. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. And I'll see you all in the next one. I'm Mick, and this was Retro Lovers Radio.